just saw a movie, and I wanted to share something with you that came to me as I was watching it. The name of the movie was Perfect Sense. And what it was is it showed a film of a disease that went global all over everybody. And whatever the virus was, or the bacteria, began to reduce people's senses. First they'd lose their sense of touch, then they'd lose their sense of hearing, then they'd lose their sense of taste, then I'm not going to tell you the end of the movie. But whatever it was, you could see as they lost their sense of taste, they got more and more primitive because they had no sense of smell, they had no sense of taste, so they began to be more, I suppose, primitive is the best word that I could use. And you could see all the things that were affected by the fact that they lost their senses. Even something as simple as the sense of smell affected their sense of taste. And then every smell became more and more valuable to them. And yet they adjusted and went on, and then they'd lose the next sense. Well, I don't have to tell you what happened by the end of the movie, right? But what it seemed to me, and what seemed so important to me in this movie, and it touched me deeply, was the fact that if we don't use our sense of compassion, if we don't use our sense of connection to each other, if we don't use our sense of, am I my brother's keeper, and the other senses that make us more evolved, more understanding of our connection to each other, the energy that we transfer to each other, our sense of mood, our sense of color, the more subtle senses we have. Before you know it, we'll be that kind of barbaric again, and we'll lose our humanity. And that was the most frightening thing at all, because instead of moving ourselves forward towards evolution, we'll move ourselves backward in involution. And then what hope is there for any of us? I guess what this has to do with the whole nurse Bytes thing or healthcare thing or whatever is that anytime we limit the services we're willing to provide to all of us, we endanger all of us, because the same children who aren't covered because we don't have universal health care and because they can't afford hospitalization are going to be going to school with those children who have the best health care. Those of us who don't have insurance who fly are going to be flying in the same airplanes or taking the same public transportation as those who have the best health care. So at one point we're going to understand our connection. We're going to be able to understand how our mood, how our healing, how our energy affects another, whether to harm or whether to heal. And if we don't, we'll be lost. If we do, we'll grow into a species who can heal and who cannot imagine the potential we have. It's time to grow or die, and it's time for all of us to understand that it's all of us I'm talking to and about. Thanks so much.